Hi everybody, this is Rita Holmes, independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. I'm here to bring you a video, and it happens to be a video of something that I don't usually do a lot, although it is a fun fold, which I love to do. But it's one that's going to take a little bit longer, but I think it is worth making. So just bear with me with the video. I want you to know that it's going to be a little bit longer than what most of my videos are. And but just bear with me. But anyway, I want to tell you before that this is the last week for our sale. We have our kits on sale, and for 30% off. They will be going off on Thursday, the last day of the month. It also is the last week to be able to join under the starter kit promotion, where you can join for $99 and get $155 worth of merchandise. So if you want to contact me about that before Thursday, I would be more than happy to talk to you, or if you need to order, that would be great too. But anyway, I'm going to get on to business because I want to get this video done for you. So let's move on. Let me make sure my monitor is good. But first of all, I know I need to turn my sound off on my computer because I had it on a minute ago. And I thought I got to turn that off, and I always forget. But, you know, power for the course, right? But I don't want any back feed on anything that might come over with me talking. So let's go ahead and make this a little bigger. There we go. I had to peek around the corner to see my monitor. Okay, now I'm going to turn you guys down. Oh, I don't know why that came up, but whatever that is. There we go. We're back on the page, right? I'm going to bring this down a little bit because we're not going to be die cutting or anything. But here's the card we're making. Here's 3 of them I've done. As you can see, they all look a little different and that, but that's okay. Handmade cards are not made to look the same all the time, right? So, let me show you what this is about. Call it a fun fold, because this card would be great for if you were making it and want to put some pictures in it, or just make a neat little card with some different sentiments in it. If you were doing it as a group, say like a Sunday school group or whatever, a group of friends making it for someone, for everybody to sign, this is a great card for doing that. So let me show you the inside. So you open it like this, and you flip it like this. So you can put different sayings in. Now, how I got the idea is because I was asked to make a card for a gentleman in our church that is in declining health and stuff. His birthday is actually today. I'm giving the card to his wife tomorrow. But we wanted to make a card for all the Sunday school classes to sign because he always came to Sunday school. So this was his, and what I did with his is I used a saying that is not Stampin' Up. It's a scripture saying, which I really like scripture sayings, so I put that in there. But I just wanted to show you how it looked with everybody signing it, because we had everybody signed on Sunday that was there, and from the Sunday school class. So that's what it looks like and how I did his. And then with mine, if you noticed, I did some extra stamping on it because I was just putting sentiments and I wasn't leaving lots and lots of places to sign. So we'll be doing more of this version than what we did for him. Let me put his with his envelope together. And I wanted to make a regular size card. I didn't want to make it bigger too. And that's how I came up with what I did, because I just wanted to stay with the same size card. So let's get started. I'm going to move these out of the way. I'm going to need room. I do have a PDF over on my Stamp Crazy VIP group that you can pull off. It has the pictures, has everything I used, and the directions. So that is going to be over on my, it is over on my VIP page. So what I'm using, I have 2 pieces of cardstock, cut 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. I have this piece that is 5 1/8 by 3 7/8, with a piece of basic beige that is 5 1/4 by 4. It will leave an 1/8 inch border around. I have a piece 5 by 3 3/4, which is actually the blue part of our card here. That's going to go behind there. Then I have 4 pieces of 5 by 3 3/4 that will go on the insides of our card. So let's get started. It does take a little bit of time, but let me tell you about this card, what I did. I told you I had 2 card bases, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. I took the second one, I went ahead and I took one of them, went ahead and folded it. Then I put it in my paper trimmer and scored it at 5 1/4 by 4, so that it just fits on the inside of this card right here. So what we're going to do with that is I put it right, I'm going to show you up here. It's right under that score line. And the reason being is if you put it in the score line, it makes that really thick. And what I did was I just kind of, on the 3 sides, put that kind of where I thought I needed it to be, up close to that score line, but not in it. And then I'm going to take glue, and I'm going to put glue onto this top piece, the top fold of the middle card. So, and I want a lot of glue because I want to make sure it stays. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this one and I'm going to fold it over. And give it a good rub. I got a little bit of glue right there, but that's not going to matter. That's going to be all covered up. And so there's my card. That's how it's going to fold. Got a little bit of glue in there too. Rub that to where it's dry. Then I'll take my glue eraser and just remove that little bit of glue right there. There we go. Okay, so that adheres it there, and then I have my panels, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so let's lay this to the side. We're going to burnish it, lay it to the side for a minute, and we're going to work on this. I will tell you beforehand, with working with this, I've used 10 colors. I think it's 10 or 11 colors of ink all together when it's all said and done. But right now for this one, we're going to use blending brushes and finger daubers. It makes a really pretty card. It's not that hard to do. It's just to make a fall card, we have to use a lot of colors. And what I used, let me show you what I've used on this card. A lot of stamp sets, a lot of dies. I used the Fox and the Prince from In the Grove, Happy Birthday from Sweetly Scripted, Just for You from Unbounded Love, and Hope Your Day is a Happy One from So Sincere, because I wanted those to kind of just go together, you know. So I did that. In the dies, I used this part here, and I used the 2 deer from the Grassy Grove. In the Grove, I used the bunny and the fox. And then Spotlight on Nature, I used this circle. Now, you don't have to do it with all of this stuff. In fact, you don't even have to do this card. You could do flowers. You could make the fun fold part of it and do it much simpler. But I had done this and had showed it to a lady that came to my house on Saturday, and she asked me to do my video on it so she could see how to do the coloring. So what I'm doing is I'm taking Old Olive, start off my paper, that's why that scratch paper's there, And I'm just going to add that down here for grass. I'm going to turn that around and I'm going to do the other side. And you'll see it's splotchy, but that's okay because it's grass all the same. No, it is not. Now what I do, and you'll see I've already got some darker green up here from this one. And I'll eliminate taking the mossy meadow, because if I don't have that darker right through there, I add mossy meadow to that just because I want that to be darker up at this part of my grass. So that's all we're going to use for this for the moment. Then I'm going to bring in crushed curry. And we're going to be using our old olive again, so we're going to leave that just set aside. Now let's bring in crushed curry. Another blending brush. We are just going to bring that, and we're going to do the top part of our trees. We're going to rub all this, just make it yellow, because that's going to be our lighter color, and you can always add color over your lighter color. If you get it real dark, like if I would have used the Cajun Craze first, we would have had a hard time putting yellow over it. So that's all that we're going to use, because we will be coming back to that. Now we're going to bring in finger daubers, and we're going to bring in, let me see, that's my green. This is my Cajun Craze, and I need to get early espresso. That was my case of. So I'm going to use early espresso, and I already had that open, I think. No, I didn't. There we go. There's my early espresso. I have a finger dauber for every color, and I put them in these little finger dauber cases and little labels on the top, and that way I know what's where and don't mix my colors. So let's bring in the early espresso for a minute. We're going to do our tree trunks, which are already part green and part yellow, right? That's okay. It just looks dark, doesn't it? But we're going to bring that in and make tree trunks for our trees. And if it gets on your grass and different things, it's okay. In the big scheme of things, it's going to look okay. Now we have little tree branches up in here, and I'm just going to hit them real lightly with this brown. Just knowing where I have to go with it is half the battle. So I just see these little things and take the edge. And yes, I'm getting brown on my leaves. Those are the ones that are dying, I guess. So there we go. We have pretty much some brown now on our trees. Now the next thing we're going to do, we're going to open up our green again. And we're going to bring in Cajun Craze, and we're going to open it up. This looks like a hot mess, and don't let it bother you. Hot messes are fine in this case. I'm going to bring in my Cajun Craze, and I'm just going to dab color all over here. Just putting us some fall colors up here. So there we go. Told you it's going to look like a hot mess. And then I'm going to bring in some green and put in our tree leaves. So let's just make sure that we have some green. My green was light, so I'm just going to tap it in. And don't worry about if you get these little round spots and stuff. We've got our fall colors in there, right? So I'm gonna close up Cajun or Old Olive because I do not want I don't want to get into it, is what I want to say. So I'm going to come back to my crushed curry, and I'm just going to blend over all of these colors. And what that does is just makes them a little bit more subtle, takes away that quick contrast over here, like you see over here, because see how I'm blending it in. It'll be well blended by the time we're done. Sometimes you get very inky fingers. I'm going to bring in this brush, and I'm going to add just a little bit of green to soften those greens up there. And you see I'm not really worried about going over the other colors. And now here's the scary part. People's like, oh no, I'm going to do this with Cajun Craze now. So I'm going to ink my Cajun Craze, which when you ink that, it goes a long way. So I do this very light-handedly to just bring that in and kind of give it that fall look. And now I'm going to bring in Daffodil Delight. Daffodil Delight is a much brighter yellow. So when I take that and go over my card, it brightens that back up a little bit. So I just go all over it with that and kind of brighten and blend those fall colors together. And that is our fall scenery. And like I said, no two look alike. I might see if we can bring in down here some Cajun, or there we go. Didn't change it that much. So there we go. We can close up all these colors. But like I said, we're going to be using the green shortly. So I'm going to leave it sit out. But now we're going to bring in blues. We're going to use 3 different colors of blue. I kind of went wild on this card. What do you think? So let me get this other white piece. As we start with white, we're going to turn this over. I'm going to move these out of the way. And I'm going to bring in my 2 blue brushes. I'm going to start with Balmy Blue. I'm going to ink that really good. And I'm just going to do the bottom part of this. And Balmy Blue is really light, so it'll take a couple times of doing it. I'm not worried about getting it all even. Look, I got yellow on that. So you know what I need? I need a baby wipe. I don't mind that there's yellow in my sky, but I mind that I have yellow all over my fingers. Boy, do I. That's one thing about doing this. You really get a lot of ink on you. Or if you're like me, you get a lot of ink. Can I say that? Okay, let's go back to this. So let's just keep, I think that's enough Balmy Blue. Now we're going to go to Misty Moonlight. And what I'm doing is I'm just graduating up from light to dark. So Misty Moonlight will be our next color for our sky. So let's do that. We're going to start off with the paper. And we're going to come on. And don't let those circles there worry you. turn it around. It's easier to work. Because I'm going to be blending all this in. And once we get our sky made, it'll be very pretty. I'm adding some dark in here, so I'm going straight to the paper, which you normally would not do, but with sky, you can do something like that because it, you know, skies have such a different look. And now I'm just going to lightly go over that balmy blue to blend that in, and I'm going to put a little bit more at my top. This is the fun part. You just get to make a mess on paper. I know it scares some people, but the more you do it, the easier it is. Okay, so there's me some blue sky. Now we're going to come in with Night of Navy. Night of Navy is a scary color. It's a lot of pigment. It doesn't take a lot of ink, but it makes for a pretty sky at night. So let's bring that in. And see how rich and dark it is over here on this side where I started. I'm going to turn it around because I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Even though I start off, it's going to put a lot of pigment right there. And I'm going to blend those in from side to side. And then what I'll do is just lightly go over all three colors and blend that in. So there we go. We have our sky. Isn't that pretty so far? And I have blue ink all over me, so I'm going to bring in my baby wipe again. Because I don't want that blue ink all over everything because it does travel quickly. And I just wipe my hand on my jeans. They're blue also. Okay, let's move these out of the way. Now what I did was, and I did this technique out of desperation. I thought I had an old toothbrush down here to use for making splatters on this, and I did not. So I took my Whisper White pad and I just squeezed it to get some ink into the lid, and I took a water brush and I brought a water brush in, and it's wet, so I'm just going to add some ink in here to that. I'm going to bring in something and I'm just going to tap. It's going to look like water spots, but it'll have a little white to it. Okay, babe. My husband just told me he is home. He took our grandson out deer hunting for not my husband's first time, but my grandson's first time. It was awfully warm out, but at least he could get a taste of what he's got to do when it gets cold. Do some down low. Okay. Now I'm going to take my water brush because that is pigment ink, and I'm just going to kind of clean that out. I think I'm going to be reserving this brush because it's one I don't really use when I watercolor, for a watercolor brush to do that technique with, because I really like it. It's very subtle. I'll hold it up to you in just 1 second so that you can see it. Put my water brush back where it goes. So there, see how nice that looks? Kind of just starry and pretty. So now let's get all this stuff out of the way. Well, we will need this again. Let's leave that there. So we have our scenery made, which it will be just like this now. Isn't that pretty? So what I did to add this scenery to my card, I just took and did a small line of glue around this outside edge. Because I wanted it not to get into where all of the die cutting is. I'm going to turn this over, and I'm just going to lay this down because it's just 1/8 of an inch smaller than the no glue there. So that's what it looks like when that's done. Okay, we can go ahead and put this on the front of our card. Let me find my card base. My bigger one of these. Let's see which one's the biggest now that I've got them all clumped together. I think that back one is. Yes, it is. So I'm going to take this and put this on here with my glue. And then I can just glue that. Oh, I got water on my card from my baby wipe. It'll dry. That part will dry. I'm not going to worry about that. Too much stuff on this table. Too much stuff for this card. But it's neat. I like it. So let's just put this on. So that is the front of our card. And now what I'm going to do is I already did some die cutting. I have my little deer here. And I did these out of the color Pecan Pie. I either need to fill my little glue bottle so it'll stay full, or remember to shake it down every time I want to use it. One or the other. So let's just stick him right over here. And then we'll do the same with him. We'll just, or with her. She's mama looking back at her baby. You know how us mamas are. We always have to make sure where our babies are. Even when they get old like my babies. I like to know where they are at. So there is that. And what I'm going to do with this circle, I'm going to bring in, and I'm going to use Mossy. I think I'm actually going to use the Night of Navy. That I got splatters all over. But that's okay. We'll wipe it off so I don't get it all over my hands constantly. So I'm going to bring this in, and I already have my stamps on blocks. So I'm going to do Just For You on the front. And then I'm going to use dimensionals to add that to the front. So I'm just going to turn that over. And the color of cardstock I've used is Basic Beige, which I really enjoy that color. You know, it's a new color. Well, it's been out since May, the end of May, but or the 1st of May. But I really enjoy the color. So when you don't want something really stark white, it's a good color to go to. And there we go. We got that. So let's close this up for a minute. We're going to bring in our 4 pieces of DSP. And what I'm going to do, and this will not take long. Oh, what happened? Okay, I'm hoping that my video has been going the whole time. It just looked like it was stuck when I looked up. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my green, and I'm just going to go all the way around these. And don't worry about the splotchy down there. That's where my trees are going to go. I have a cat that's going to get ready to pounce on me, I think. You need to stay over where you're at, girlfriend. You need to stay over where you're at. Who would have thought getting a kitty would be like having a baby again? Ooh, I forgot what kitties were like. I haven't had one in 18 years. And we decided to get one. And it's a kitty. She's 5 months old now. And she does take a lot of energy. Maybe that's why I'm so tired all the time, huh? They're so cute, though. She has entertained us so much. I just love her. One more. Oh, my. I don't know if my video is stopping or if we're still going. It looks like we're still going. I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and finish this whole card. And if this video didn't turn out, I will do it again. Don't know what it is about this. I think it's just on my computer base. I'm actually doing my video on my phone, so it should be okay. Okay, those are done. Now what we're going to do is we're going to bring in trees. And I do need my green out again. I don't know why I was putting that up. I'm going to kind of get a lot of green out of that. I'm bringing in trees, and we are going to, and I did trees differently on each page. So right now, I think I'm just going to bring in this tree. I didn't mean to do that, so I'm going to put a bigger tree right in the center of those trees. I'll put a tree over here. I'm going to still use it because, you know, there's no mistakes in stamping. It's an embellishment opportunity. This one, I'm going to go all the way across. Oh, I didn't mean to do that, but works out good anyway. So there we go. We can cover up whatever we need to. That's what I love about this. It's very forgiving. You better get out of here, girlfriend, because you will get into ink. And I really don't want you in my ink. But it might be happening. Excuse me, we have to get this little girl down off of the table, and she's going to shake the camera. Go, go. You have to be a good girl. So we have all of the trees stamped. Now, all we're going to do is our sayings for each one of them. I'm cleaning all the ink, green ink. It's a lot of green ink on my trees. So what we're going to do now is we'll bring these in and decide how we want them. I think I want that on the top, then second, and then third, and then fourth. So this will be my first one. So here is how that is done. And that one's not done. That is our not done card. Here's our done one. So I did may your day be a happy one. We're going to use the navy blue. So that's going to go, or just hope your day is a happy one. I'm reading both things at the same time. So let's just put that in there. And then we're going to bring in the may your day. May all your wishes come true is what this one is. And you'll notice I got ink all over it, but that's okay. So that's number 2. Number 3 is happy birthday, which will be this one. So we got to ink that one all the way across. And hold it the right way. Very important. I want to stamp that up here. I'll clean all those in just 1 second. So that's all the blue. Let's bring in the early espresso again, and we'll put a little bit of footprints in here. And it just makes little squiggle marks is what it does. Pretty much so. And then the other 2 don't need them. So let's put that down. That's done. So now we're going to glue these into our card. So let's bring that back in. So let's put this one here at the top, and you're just going to center it into your card. Then this one. And then our happy birthday. And there's where my card's wet. I'm waiting for it to dry. I'm actually going to dry it with my heat gun after I get done. That will be the best thing to do. Okay, that's all done. Now, I'll bring in the last one. And then I got a couple of dies that I'm going to add into here. And this card will be done. So how about that? So what I'm going to do here is I am going to put this, because I have that green mark down here, I'm going to put my little fox or whatever he is right over that. See, there's no mistakes. It's an embellishment opportunity. So I am just going to sit him there, and you really won't see that spot. As soon as I can get him to glue down. Then I have a little bunny rabbit. And I think I'm going to hide the little bunny rabbit over here in these trees. We're going to put him right here in this little clearing, to where he's hopping to go behind those thick trees and get out of the way so nobody gets him. There we go. So here's our card. That's the front, and let me score it again. By the time you get done, because you've opened it and closed it, you'll need to give it a good burnish. And I just about tore my card right there where it's wet. And then you'll open it, and then sign right here. And that is your card. So I hope you all liked it. I know I kept you longer than what I usually do, and I'm sorry about that. But I think this card is really a neat card, especially to make someone special. You could make some special Christmas cards with it, birthday cards, any kind of cards you wanted. And you can put anything on the front and on the insides. And I hope you try it. And until next time, remember that I do have a Simply Saturday video. It's a pre-recorded video like this one that will be up on Saturday mornings, and that one is a consistency one. It's done at 10:30 in the mornings, and it's very simple cards. So remember to come and check those out on my channel, Stamp Crazy by Rita Holmes, or you can do my Facebook group or page, which is Stamp Crazy VIP for my group, and my page is Stamp Crazy by Rita Holmes. So there's 3 different platforms that I do put all my videos on, and my PDFs are on the group, which is Stamp Crazy VIP, because they do have a file section you can use there. I hope you all enjoyed this. Have a blessed week, and we'll see you again. Bye.